What's up, guys? It's Gabe from Ceramic Pro Pottstown. We're back at the Devon dealership today to help with a delivery day inspection. So this is a Midnight Silver Model Y, and this client booked paint protection film with us. So as a part of our services, we offered to come and help look over the vehicle with them on delivery day. So the first thing we do is we check the headlight sockets, and I thought I had found a scuff here, and I gave it the old lick and wipe test, and just to see if it came off, and it did. Not a big problem. So we check the fog lights for secure fitment. They look good. We check the trim around each fender well. This one was not missing any clips, so that's good. Come around and check the driver's side. This piece of trim was popped out, but that's okay. We slapped it back in. That trim looked good. And I'm checking the fender alignment here. The fender alignment was fine on this. Checking all of our door edge alignment. All of that looked really good. Check the rear fender trim. No problems here. I thought I had found a rock chip, but it was just leftover adhesive on the door edge. So we get into the back seat. I check the functionality. This looks good. I always pull the seatbelt out before I stuff this back, just to make sure. And it looks like the detail department has swiped greasy petroleum dressing all over this, which is kind of to be expected at this point. We look up and we find some leftover stickers, and we find some of the headliner peeled out again and not tucked back in. Pretty standard at this point, so I tuck it back into the gasket. Now, as we head up front, I found some microfiber towel fuzz in the top of the window trim. So now we function check all the windows. We roll all the windows down. And we roll them all the way back up. And they look good. Found some more of the interior headliner plastic left over. Not a big deal. It's like this on every single one of these cars. So I'm going to jump in and check out some of this interior trim. Just making sure everything where we're supposed to be. I'm finding that these cars have they're getting slathered in petroleum detailer, like dressing. It's just gross. It ends up on the dash, it ends up on the seats, it ends up everywhere, and it never looks good, and it always looks splotchy. We check the soft close. Very good. Give our pull test on everything. We check and make sure our sun visors are there with the covers. I pull that vinyl sticker off, which was really odd. I've never seen stickers up there, but that's okay. You can see here, like, look at this. Look at the steering wheel. That was gross. I don't know what that was. The center console lid had some odd wiggle in it, and I was just looking to see if anything was out of place, and it wasn't. So I'm going to get back out, and then we're going to keep going around the car. I thought I had found a chip, but again, it was just leftover vinyl. Come around to the passenger side. You can see here, this door is still just barely out of alignment, but it is much better than the last one we looked at. I did find that this camera was loose in the socket. It was a little weird, but you know, the tabs on those cameras are brittle and they break super easy. So it doesn't surprise me that that was out of tolerance and fit really loosely. We're going to function check the passenger window. This looked really good. Window rolls all the way back up. I've seen this on more than one of these Ys. For some reason, this lower glove box doesn't seat all the way. Sometimes you get lucky and you can give it a smack and it seats up, but this one just looked like, you know, things as usual. I would have pointed that out to the client, but we never really got that far. You'll see here in a little bit. We continue checking out the interior, function check seat releases, check for hitchiness. So this is why I do what I do. We ended up finding two things that were cause for rejection on this vehicle. So on the driver's A-pillar, I found a very tight, what appears to be ding or imperfection in this A-pillar. You couldn't really see any scratches or anything around it. But what I found is that this was right in the middle of an area where there was almost no access to get paintless dent repair tools, and it was vertical, which means that something really landed on it to give it that ding. So that means that this client would have had to let Tesla Collision look at it, and in our area here, that's Conestoga Collision. They do a fantastic job. Shout out to Max. So this is where things get dicey. So this is where the panoramic sunroof meets the windshield directly above where the passenger sits. I just noticed this, and this side of the roof of the panoramic sunroof is dented, and it is impressed differently and further than the driver's side. What appears to have happened here, it looks like something landed on top of the glass and then drug across it and then across the edge. And you can see here that it's very clearly been damaged and it's chipped. Now, this is either from one of two things. It's either from the manufacturing process where some tooling was drug across the top of this and not properly, didn't clear while it was on the assembly line. Or what's more likely is this happened from the double-decker trailer, from when they get unloaded off the rail cars and then put onto the double-deckers and then brought to the dealership. This is probably from the upper deck of the trailer. There's not much that could be done to fix this besides replacing the whole sunroof, but because this side of the roof appeared lower, I advised the client that there may have been structural integrity related damage, and between this and the A-pillar, I advised this client that it was best for him to reject the delivery and to wait for another vehicle to be assigned. And this is the reason why. Panel gaps can be corrected easy enough with a very light appointment and no paint work. This indicated that the car had already been mistreated at such a level that the body was no longer true. And anytime you're dealing with that panoramic sunroof and pulling it apart and putting a new one on, that means you're dealing with wind seals and rain seals, and that's just honestly not something that a new vehicle owner should have to worry about. Between this and then the very vertical, decent-sized ding we found on the A-pillar, which would have required them to sand, fill, and paint or replace the A-pillar altogether, which then means it wasn't going to match the rest of the car. I advised the client it was best for him to reject it and then to just have another vehicle assigned to him. And the rep ultimately informed him it was only going to be like another week or so. So it wasn't a big deal, but I definitely didn't want this client to accept the car and then end up with a massive issue going back and forth with Tesla service and Tesla body. It just wasn't worth it. So that's how this one ended up. I advised this client to reject the car. So we advised this client to reject the car because that A-pillar damage is not going to be repairable without replacement or paint because of how tight the vertical crease is. So between that and the very clear impact damage on the passenger front of that panoramic sunroof, we're going to reject it. This is a 5-seater and it's black interior in midnight silver. This is like the most common equipped out of all of the white cars, so he'll get another one pretty quickly. So at this point, we're going to tell him to refuse delivery. And this is why it's really important to call somebody like us, so that way we can find these things so that you don't accept delivery of a headache. Thanks for watching, guys. I also wanted to let you guys know that we have created our delivery day inspection report for Tesla vehicles. This is just a single sheet checklist for you to go and have just something in front of you while you're in the middle of your delivery, and that you can reference and document the things that you find. This is available for free for anybody to download at the link in the description. You can grab that right off of our website. Print this out, bring it with you when you go to take delivery of your vehicle, and there's some instructions at the bottom of the spreadsheet here that kind of give you a common sense approach to taking and accepting delivery of your vehicle, and just things to remember. So you can grab this right on our website, totaldetailingpa.com, in the Tesla section, or you can grab this from the link in the description of this video. This was something that a lot of people asked for, so I figured I would come to the plate and provide for the community and support them in any way that I can. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you need something or if you have any other suggestions.